You think a younger woman wants your youth? She does not. She wants your strength. But the moment you forget that, you start losing her. This is where older men make the mistake that ruins everything. They stop acting like grounded men. They start chasing attention. They start adjusting. They start performing. And without realizing it, they destroy the very thing that made her notice them in the first place. You are older now, maybe in your 40s, maybe your 50s, maybe even your 60s. Life has already shaped you. You have been through enough to understand how people move. You have felt pressure. You have handled pain. You have survived mistakes. You have learned through loss, through discipline, and through real experience. That matters more than most men realize. Then one day, a younger woman enters your life. She brings a different kind of energy. It feels fresh. It feels exciting. She is curious. She is playful. She gives you attention that feels real. Not surface level politeness, not casual interest, real attention. And that attention wakes something in you, something sharp, something alive, something you thought had gone quiet years ago. That feeling can be powerful. It can make you feel younger. It can make you feel chosen. It can make you feel alive again. But this is also the exact moment many men begin making silent mistakes. Nothing dramatic happens right away, no warning signs, no obvious collapse, just small shifts, quiet ones. And those small shifts begin changing everything. The moment you become attracted, something inside you starts moving. You begin thinking differently. You begin watching her more closely. You begin caring a little too much. Slowly, without noticing it, your center starts shifting. You stop standing fully in your own frame. You begin leaning toward hers. And that is where men start giving away their power without realizing it. You begin forgetting what made you valuable in the first place. You forget your calm. You forget your experience. You forget the weight your life has given you. Instead of standing in that, you begin adjusting. You begin softening yourself. You begin shaping your behavior around what you think she might like. And that is where attraction begins to weaken. The more you adjust, the less grounded you become. The less grounded you become, the more she feels it. She may not say it. She may not even understand it herself, but she will feel the shift. What once felt solid now feels uncertain. What once felt calm now feels eager. And the moment eagerness replaces presence, attraction begins to fade. She does not stop feeling drawn to you because you are older. She stops feeling drawn to you because you stop carrying your age like strength. That is the difference most men never understand. Age is not what weakens attraction. Insecurity does, neediness does, overcompensating does. The problem is never the years. The problem is what you do with them. This is not about blame. It is not about judging her. It is not about pretending attraction is wrong. It is about self-control. It is about awareness. It is about knowing how to stay grounded when desire enters the room. Because the moment attraction appears, your job is not to impress her. Your job is to remain steady enough not to lose yourself. A calm man does not rush. He does not chase. He does not panic when attention appears. He stays clear. He stays centered. He stays in control of himself. That is where real strength lives. Not in how much attention you can get, in how little attention changes you. That is what makes a man powerful. That is what keeps attraction alive. What we are talking about here is not shallow dating advice. These are principles. These are rules that protect your value. These are habits that keep attraction clean, simple, and honest. If you ignore them, attraction becomes confusion. If you understand them, attraction stays clear. The goal is not just to hold her attention. The goal is to keep your self-respect. The first mistake is trying to act her age. This is where many older men lose themselves almost immediately. They begin copying younger behavior. They start changing how they dress. They force new habits into their personality. They follow trends they do not even like. They try to sound younger, move younger, and act younger. That is where their power begins slipping. The moment you start trying to become more like her world, you stop standing out from it. You become easier to compare, easier to replace, easier to ignore. What made you attractive was never your ability to imitate youth. It was your difference. It was your steadiness. It was the depth you carried. The moment you abandon that, you weaken yourself. A younger woman already knows younger men. She sees them every day. That is not what catches her attention. What catches her attention is what feels different. Your calm, your pace, your patience, your self-control. Those things stand out because they are rare. But when you try to blend into her world, you give up the one thing that made you distinct. Your age is not your disadvantage. Your age is your leverage. If you carry it well, it becomes your edge. You have already lived through disappointment. You have already survived failure. You have already learned restraint. You have already learned how to move without forcing. That gives you something younger men still do not have: presence. And presence cannot be faked. The second mistake is becoming her emotional support system. This is one of the easiest traps to fall into because it feels meaningful at first. She opens up, she tells you what she is going through, she shares her stress, her confusion, her pain. You listen, you care, you want to help. It feels close, it feels personal, it feels important. But many men confuse emotional access with attraction. Those are not always the same thing. Just because she opens up does not mean she is drawn to you in the way you think. Sometimes it means she feels safe. Sometimes it means she feels heard. Sometimes it simply means you are available. And availability alone is not what creates desire. If she only comes to you when she is overwhelmed, when she is confused, when she needs relief, then pay attention. You may not be building attraction, you may be building dependence. And those are not the same thing. Being needed can feel powerful, but being needed emotionally is not the same as being desired romantically. Many men learn that too late. A strong man knows how to listen without becoming responsible for every emotion she carries. He can be present without absorbing everything she brings. He does not rush to rescue. He does not try to fix every problem. He remains steady. He remains clear. He protects his peace. And that emotional discipline is what keeps respect and attraction intact. The third mistake is chasing validation. This is where many men lose control without even noticing it. At first, it looks harmless. You check your phone more often. You start watching her replies. You notice how long she takes. You begin adjusting your mood around her attention. And slowly, her response starts deciding how stable you feel. That is the moment your power begins leaving your hands. The second your emotional state depends on her attention, you stop leading yourself. You stop moving from confidence. You start reacting. You start waiting. You start hoping. And the more your focus shifts toward needing reassurance, the weaker your presence becomes. Women always feel that shift, even when unspoken. A man who knows his worth does not need constant confirmation. He does not need fast replies to feel secure. He does not need approval to feel steady. He already knows who he is. That is what makes him calm. That is what keeps him clear. And that kind of self-respect is what keeps attraction strong without effort or performance. The fourth mistake is trying too hard to impress her. This is where men begin overthinking everything. Every message becomes strategic. Every word becomes calculated. Every interaction becomes performance. They start trying to say the perfect thing, trying to create the perfect image, trying to control how they are seen. And the harder they try, the weaker they look. A strong man does not perform for approval. He does not force chemistry. He does not force charm. He stays natural. He stays relaxed. He speaks clearly. He decides calmly. He leads without making a show of it. Real strength is quiet. It does not need to prove itself. And that quiet confidence creates more attraction than effort ever will. The fifth mistake is building a future too early. This is where fantasy begins replacing reality. You meet her, and your mind starts projecting. You imagine where this could go. You start building stories. You begin attaching to potential before character has revealed itself. And once that happens, you stop seeing clearly. You stop reading what is actually there. That is how men ignore red flags. That is how they excuse inconsistency. That is how they accept behavior they would normally question. Not because they are blind, but because they are emotionally invested in something that has not happened yet. Fantasy clouds judgment, and the faster you attach to the future, the faster you disconnect from reality. Stay present. Stay clear. Let time reveal what attraction cannot. Watch patterns. Watch consistency. Watch how she behaves when things are easy and when they are not. Do not let chemistry pull you out of clarity. A strong man can enjoy attraction without losing his judgment. That is the standard. That is the discipline. That is what protects your value.